Then one day you'll find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You've missed the starting gun. Oh, by the way, which one's pink? My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joe Opinionated. Welcome to the 25 best songs for Pink Floyd, one of the greatest bands of all time, especially the 70s. I recently ranked the records on the channel, ranked the albums, one of my favorite bands of all time. I also did a Desert Island playlist episode for Pink Floyd a while back. We do a real deep dive into the albums and into our favorite songs. Number 25, From the Wall from 1979, going with Hey You. It's off the second half of The Wall, a dark track, incredible lyrics, incredible writing throughout The Wall from Roger Waters. Number 24 comes from Momentary Lapse of Reason, a single from the album Learning to Fly. Probably the furthest into this sort of David Gilmour pop rock is Momentary Lapse of Reason, basically a solo album from Dave Gilmour. I think his wife was helping him with the lyrics at this point, some of the best lyrics to come out of David Gilmour anyway. Number 23, from The Wall again, going with Waiting for the Worms on the second half, just kind of like a family favorite around here. Love the big orchestration on The Wall. It works so well with this theatrical concept album. It later on turned into a great movie by Alan Parker. Number 22, going with Welcome to the Machine from Wish You Were Here. Studio masterpiece, mechanical, a song about the machine almost being like a monster coming for you. Welcome to the Machine. Number 21, off of Dark Side of the Moon, Us and Them. Floydiest of Floydy. Dark Side of the Moon, their masterpiece. Us and Them, right in the middle there. Beautiful themes, beautiful track, incredible sax. You know, Richard Wright really shines on Dark Side of the Moon. This is one of those tracks too, for sure. Just beautiful. If you could go skating. Number 20 for Pink Floyd tracks, going with The Thin Ice from The Wall. Roger Waters just has his own singing style. You know, he's certainly not like the greatest singer. The tone, the emotion in his lyrics and the presentation, I mean, it's very personal for him. The Wall. Roger's such a unique singer. Number 19, What Do You Want From Me? That comes off of the Division Bell from 1994. One of my favorite tracks from this album. Got to see Dave Gilmour do it live in Madison Square Garden back in 2016. I love the production on Division Bell. I think it's a really great sounding Pink Floyd album. The only album past The Wall that I think really has that great production value or really stands out as, you know, like almost a Pink Floyd sound. Doesn't have the anger from Roger, but there is a bit of anger in the lyrics towards Roger in some of the tracks. Number 18, From the Wall, I'm going with Nobody's Home. Got a little black book with my poems in, got a bag with a toothbrush and a comb in. When I'm a good dog, they sometimes throw me the bone in. Wild staring eyes, I got a strong urge to fly. Number 17, I'm going with the title track, Obscured by Clouds from 1972. Obscured by Clouds was certainly an album that I missed in my younger days and didn't get into until about 10 years ago. I think it sounds fantastic. I think a lot of it sounds a little bit unfinished. I believe it was for a soundtrack as well, Obscured by Clouds. Right between Meddle and Dark Side of the Moon, I have this album highly ranked on my albums episode on this channel. Remember to like and subscribe. There's a playlist of all these songs below in the description for this video on YouTube and on my channel at My Friend Joe on YouTube. You can find me. I also include live performances in there as well, what I can find on YouTube. Number 16, going with the closing track, Eclipse from 1973, hand in hand with Brain Damage, the track previous, and reminds me of John Lennon's song from Plastic Ono band God. And I know that Roger admired John Lennon a great deal, and so I think there's a lot of that in this album, the Plastic Ono band. Number 15, Lost for Words from 1994 is The Division Bell. This is a bit of a spiteful track from David, directed at Roger, from what I can tell. But it's a really pretty track. It's everything out there, you know, David's point of view. It's not Roger's. And for the longest time, I was always on David's side. But at the end of the day, it's like, come on, guys. You're both, you know, in your 80s now. Just drop it. Let Roger have a bit of money back. You can get over, forgive. Number 14 comes from 1971's Meddle, their first incredible album, in my opinion. Fearless. Certainly one that most people don't miss when they go through Meddle. I mean, it's usually kind of the first main takeaway will be Fearless. Obviously, incredible guitars, the productions awesome. They've got that soccer chant at the end of the song. I'm not sure what it would have been like in 1971. I think I discovered this one, around the time I was graduating from high school. Got a copy of Meddle, and this song was certainly the standout for me. And then around the same time too, I got the greatest hits of Pink Floyd that had come out, which kind of opened my eyes to some of the earlier tracks with Syd Barrett, and this one was on there. Fearless. I'm pretty sure Fearless was on there. Number 13, I'm going with Have a Cigar from 1975's Wish You Were Here. Oh, by the way, which one's Pink? This is one where they have a guest singer on, Roy Harper, and he kills. And you can't really even, I didn't know that for the longest time. I mean, I was into Wish You Were Here at a pretty young age. I thought for sure that was Roger Waters singing. A lot of times it's a harmony between Dave Gilmour and Richard Wright. Just love Dave Gilmour's guitar on this song. It's just the way it opens up. It's just so big. One of the highlights for Pink Floyd is Dave Gilmour is one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Nick Mason's one of my favorite drummers of all time. He put out a solo album a few years back, and it's maybe my favorite Pink Floyd solo album after the Final Cut and Momentary Lapse of Reason. It's number 11, Astronomy Domini from 1967 from their debut album. Is that Piper at the Gates of Dawn? Syd Barrett, basically their lead guy for their first album. Yeah, this is certainly a highlight. I love Interstellar Overdrive as well, Bike, but Astronomy Domini comes in tops. Number 10 for Pink Floyd tracks. Opening number from 1971's Meddle. One of these days, I'll teach you all the words to it right now. One of these days, I'm going to cut you into little pieces. There you go. Memorize that. You know all the words to the opening number from Pink Floyd's first great album, Meddle. One of these days, just a sonic Roger Waters really showing what he can do. Writing now. This song just kills. Dave Gilmour's slide guitar. I think, is it Lap Steel actually? Got Pulse on vinyl. I had my buddy Tress from the Trestones over to kind of listen to it. That was a very important album for both of us as kids. So what do you want to listen to first? And we both kind of thought of the same thing at once. We wanted to listen to One of These Days, which was probably our favorite part of the Pulse VHS growing up. Number 9, I'm going with another one of my turns from 1979 is The Wall. You'd think The Wall would be my number 1 album listening to this list, but it's not. You have to watch the album episode. There's a spoiler for you. It's not my number 1 album. One of My Turns is such a cool track, just halfway through or partway through the song where he just loses it and starts destroying the hotel room. One of his mental breakdowns is just around the corner, and then it happens. Very emotional track, all over the place. I love it. Love One of My Turns. Number 8 is also on the first side of The Wall, and it's Young Lust, right around One of My Turns actually, and about excess in the music business. Dave Gilmour track. Dave Gilmour sings leads on this one. Ooh, I need a dirty woman. Ooh, I need a dirty gal. Number 7 from 1977's Animals. I'm going with Sheep. Love what they do in the studio on Animals. Very dark album. I know this is where the fighting really hit full force in fighting in the band. Animals and The Wall are both very dark albums. Roger, very angry. Man, they cut. This album especially is easily their darkest album, and that's usually my favorite. The album Animals is basically 3 songs, Dogs being the longest. Sheep is just such a funky, original track. Richard Wright really shines on Sheep. I love the guitars. I love Roger's vocals. Number 6, also off Animals, going with Pigs. That's right, not Dogs. I know Dogs is the favorite off of this album, but it's not for me. It was always Pigs and Sheep. I had my driver's license when I first heard this song. I can picture it. I know where I was driving in Nanaimo. When I first heard this song, it was just so funky. I had no idea what Roger was saying in the chorus. Haha, charade you are. What? I guess, is that how you say charade in England? Or is that just how he spun it to make it sound right? I don't know. But it sounds fantastic. Very Orwellian themes going on in this one, and very, Rage Against the Machine down with the government stuff. Number 5 is an instrumental off of Dark Side of the Moon. I'm going with Any Color You Like, in the same realm as the previous 2, as Sheep and Pigs. Incredibly funky track. Break out on this jam, and I was really stoked because I saw Roger Waters in Vancouver a couple of years ago on his last tour. It was a fantastic show. I mean, Pink Floyd shows live are the best as far as sound goes, especially. They're incredible. And they don't, I mean, it's a spectacle, it's a major spectacle. And he played the backside of Dark Side of the Moon on that tour. And I was stoked. I got to see Any Color You Like. Just personal favorite from that album. Dark Side of the Moon should really be just one song because it really does need to be consumed whole. I almost never listen to Money. If I'm consuming this album, I usually stop right after Great Gig of the Sky and go straight to Us and Them. Just because I've heard that song way too many times. It's a great track. I was really into the live version on Pulse for the longest time too, but I'm over it. Any Color You Like. Number 4 comes off of The Dark Side of the Moon, and it's one of the earlier on side A. It's Time, picking away the moments that make up a dull day. The whole first side of Dark Side. I mean, the Dark Side of the Moon is such a flawless album. And yeah, love the way it opens up the clocks and then dun 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 gets into it with Nick Mason's incredible thundering drums. Then one day you'll find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You've missed the starting gun. David's vocals on this one just kill. And Richard Wright, of course. Number 3, I'm going with an epic from 1971's Meddle. I'm going with Echoes. Really stoked that Live in Pompeii is coming to the IMAX. I'm definitely want to go see that. One of the greatest live DVDs ever. Pink Floyd played in the ruins in Pompeii between Meddle and Dark Side of the Moon, I believe, is right in there. Yeah, because they showed them recording Dark Side of the Moon on that video. Love the whole thing, but yeah, Echoes. I mean, when I was a kid, neighbor would Tristan's dad would play Echoes at Halloween, like the scary parts of the song. He'd wheel out the speakers to the door kind of thing and be playing this Pink Floyd album. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's Pink Floyd. I didn't know this album at all. I think way back then when I was still trick-or-treating, the only album I was really familiar with was The Wall. Maybe my introduction to it. I love watching them play it on Live in Pompeii. Roger to me is the standout on Echoes. Just so funky. Go with and yeah, Echoes it takes up half the album. It's 20 some odd minutes long. Number 2, I'm going with Breathe in the Air off of Dark Side of the Moon. There's the reprise as well after Time. Leave, but don't leave me. Look around. Choose your own ground. Balance on the biggest wave, a race towards an early grave. Just very epic. Was this album again? I listened to quite a bit, paired up with Wizard of Oz. I know it's obviously they didn't plan that, but damn does it ever work, and damn is it ever cool. I've watched Wizard of Oz maybe 10 times paired up with Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. I've watched Wizard of Oz once, not paired up with Dark Side of the Moon. Rather watch it silent and listen to Dark Side of the Moon myself. Right. And the number 1 song from Pink Floyd for me, Shine on You Crazy Diamond. A very long one again. It's broken up into 9 parts on Wish You Were Here from 1975. Remember when you were young, you shone like the sun. Shine on you, crazy diamond. Threatened by shadows at night and exposed in the light. Shine on you, crazy diamond. Incredible song, tribute to their friend Syd Barrett, who turned up in the studio when they were writing this, halfway through the album or partway through the album. And they didn't even recognize him. He had his eyebrows shaved off. He's off in the corner, very similar to the character from The Wall. How incredible is that? I think they were brought to tears by the fact they didn't recognize him. And songs that they were writing currently or recording currently working on was a tribute to him. The album is somewhat of a tribute to him too. There's a few times when I got into Pink Floyd, I guess, I know for sure I was into The Wall when I was a bit younger. But I mean, the biggest change for me in my love of Pink Floyd was when my friend Tristan lent me Pulse on CD. And the first song is Shine on Your Crazy Diamond. And I don't think I had ever heard that song before that moment. Thanks again. And that's it. Top 25 for Pink Floyd. Remember to like the channel, comment, subscribe. Sorry, I'm a little low on facts and high on opinions. We out.